morning, everyone. Thank you, first of all, to the Kepler Group for organizing this event, and thank you all present in here, our colleagues and tourism authorities for being here today. My name is Adolfo Reyes. I'm head of membership at the World Travel and Tourism Council. I'm going to be sharing with you who WTTC is very briefly. I will also share some of the economic details and trends, where we were, where we are, and where we're going. And I'm going to be sharing also some global trends and challenges. So to get started, who is WTTC? WTTC represents the global travel and tourism for the private sector. For over 30 years, we have conducted research on the economic impact for 185 countries, and we tackled on issues such as overcrowding, taxation, policy making, and many others. WTTC also raises awareness of the importance of the travel and tourism sector as one of the world's largest economic sectors. Who are our members? As I said, we represent the global private sector, and our members are over 180 CEOs, presidents, and chairpersons of the world leading travel and tourism companies from all industries. As you can see on your screen, this is just a sample of some of the organizations represented in WTTC. And this is just a snapshot of all of those organizations that are represented and that help us drive our initiatives forward. Spain is very well represented and has a strong representation throughout the Council. You can see here who are the members at WTTC from Spain. I'm not going to go into the detail, but it's a very strong representation and very diverse as well. So what do? We tackle three main areas. The sector value, as I mentioned, we amplify the value of travel and tourism. I will be also showing some of the economic details about our sector. We support growth of the sector on initiatives such as encouraging frictionless travel, how to implement technology and innovation to make travel faster, to make travel easier for everyone to travel around the world. And we also focus on sustainability. It's one of our main areas of focus. It's not only about the climate and the environment, but also about the people and everyone that works in our great industry. So just to tackle a little bit on the economic impact, I'm going to be showing you a few of details about the global economy, where we were in 2019. Travel and tourism represented $10 trillion in global spending, and 10.4% of the global economy. 334 million people were actually supported by travel and tourism. That's 1 in every 10 jobs around the world. Of course, after the pandemic, we have a big dip, but we have recovered in 2022 to 7.7 trillion. That's 22% below 2019 levels, and we lost 33 million jobs. But 2023, in our projections, we're expecting to grow again back to $9.5 trillion, just 5% below 2019 levels, and 320 million jobs. So the recovery is already here. And we're forecasting that by 2033, $15.5 trillion will be the global representation for travel and tourism. So that's almost 50% of the current GDP that travel and tourism represents. And we will support 430 million jobs around the globe. Looking at Europe and Spain. In Europe, travel and tourism represents $2022 billion. That's 8.3% of the global GDP. But in Spain, that's $186 billion. Travel and tourism has a bigger representation in Spain. That's 13.6% of the GDP in Spain is supported by travel and tourism. Again, we are one of the biggest sectors in the economy. And also 84 million jobs are supported in Spain. So that's 13.9% of the total jobs in the country. Just looking at the G20, Spain is number 10 in terms of GDP contribution to the economy. But as you can see, the share of spend between domestic and international is very even. There's, of course, a lot of international travelers coming to Spain, but Spain doesn't depend only on international travelers. The domestic spend is also very, very strong at 86 and 46%. So what is the forecast for Europe? In 2023, we expect that the economy will grow to $2,131 billion and 8% of the total economy, and we will be supporting 363 million jobs, and we expect also to grow to 10% in 2033 and 11% in terms of representation of jobs in 2033. Spain will remain growing. We expect that the travel and tourism will remain growing for the next 10 years. We call the previous years before the pandemic the golden years of travel and tourism, and our forecasts predict that we will continue growing at the same rate. Actually, travel and tourism will be growing faster than the economy at 2.6%, while the economy is expected to grow at 1.5%. But it's not only about the economy. We also need to have data on sustainability. And before today, or before this year, we didn't have real data on sustainability to share. But I'm happy to announce that starting in 2023, we launched the economic and environmental and social footprint. We developed this on top of our economic impact. So we will have, or we actually have, information for 185 countries from 2010, and we will be able to measure how travel and tourism impact on the sustainability indicators is performing going forward. These indicators include not only the greenhouse emissions, but also the water use and the land use, the energy composition, the pollutants. The income profiles, as I said, is not only about the environment, it's also about the people. And just to share a few details, in Spain and global, the difference on the economic growth for the sector and the emissions are, comparing for Spain, in Spain are greater, or Spain is more efficient than the global trend. As you can see on the white bar, there's the emissions, or the growth for Spain was 2.3% in the past, and the emissions are only growing at 1%. So the objective is to decouple the economic growth from the emissions, and that's what we see is happening both in Spain and around the world. We are growing faster, or the economy is growing faster than our emissions. On the second chart on the right, you can see that the energy sources, which include renewable energy, are also growing, and Spain is actually leading, and 12.6% of the sector's energy in 2021 comes from low energy sources. That includes also nuclear, but also all the green sources like solar and wind. So Spain is doing great progress on this area. On the social impact, Spain also is ahead of the game. 44% of the jobs are in travel and tourism are supported by women, while 8% are supported by youngsters between 15 and 25 years old. That's higher than the global trend. And it's not only about data. What are we doing in terms of actual actions? And we have launched last year the Hotel Sustainability Basics. For any hoteliers that are here, I would encourage you to join also this effort. It's about implementing 12 criteria in a 3-year period on the efficiency, planet, people, and community. So what are the trends and challenges that we're seeing worldwide? Number one, we did a survey back in 2022, and we know that youngsters are being influenced by social media, right? TikTok, Instagram are influencing young people to make their decisions to travel. Also, the return of the pandemic, the cities are where people are traveling most, but also beach destinations. There has been a big impact on the economy, right? We feel that prices are going up, but people is not stopping there. People are still traveling. They are just defining or kind of cutting back on their spend on some areas, but the desire to travel is still there, and it's still happening. So what are some of the regional challenges that we're seeing? And this table is very busy, but it also tells us where are the main focus where that is happening, like visas and borders. We see challenges all across the different regions. For example, it's taking longer to get the visas to travel to the US. In some instances, it's taking months or close to a year just to get an appointment to get your visa. But it's not only the US, that's also happening in China. We're traveling from anywhere in the world going to China, it's very difficult. The geopolitical environment, right? War has impacted travel and tourism, not as much as we thought it would, but it is also a very, very big impact for travel and tourism. And also the routes that airlines have to take to avoid the conflict areas are impacting the cost for these important suppliers in travel and tourism. And you can see all the rest, the data protection, the competitiveness, and the aviation connectivity. Last but not least, I would like to announce that we just recently hosted the first ever WTTC Global Summit in Africa. It was a great success. It was important for us to put Africa in the map as a growing destination. We hope we can all support Africa to grow also in this area as a new destination. We had over 1,200 delegates and 45 countries represented. And we announced the next Global Summit, which will be hosted in Australia next year in October. If you have not attended one of these summits, please, you're welcome to attend. Just let me know. We'll be happy to extend an invitation. Again, thank you very much for inviting us to this very great event, and thank you all for being here today. I will pass it on to my colleagues again. Thank you so much.